ஃபவுண்டர் அண்ட் டைரக்டரும் கூட. அவங்க விருந்தாவனத்திலேருந்து சேவை செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ அவருடைய தலைமையில் இந்த டச் ஸ்டோன் மீடியா அப்படிங்கிறவங்க நிறைய ஆன்மீக புத்தகங்களை வந்து வெளியிட்டு அதை விநியோகம் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ நிறைய மல்டிமீடியா ரிசோர்ஸஸ், குழந்தைங்க ஸ்டோரி புக்ஸு, இதெல்லாம் நிறையா அவங்க பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. அவர் இந்த மாதிரி எழுதலை இல்லை எதுவும் புத்தகம் வெளியிடலை அப்படின்னாக்கா அப்போ அவர் வந்து ஐரோப்பாவில் பிரயாணம் செய்து அமெரிக்கா, ஆப்பிரிக்கா போன்ற நாடுகளுக்கெல்லாம் பிரயாணம் செய்து பிரச்சாரம் செய்கிறது அவருடைய சேவையாக வச்சுருக்கிறார். ஸோ நம்ம எல்லாருமே இப்போ ஹிஸ் கிரேஸ் ஈஸ்வர் பிரபு வந்து நம்முடைய முறை பிரகாரம் ஒரு முறை உற்சாகமாக ஹரே கிருஷ்ண மந்திரம் ஜெபித்து வரவேற்கலாம். ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா 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 ஹரே 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 ராம 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 ஹரே ஹரே. Hare Krishna. Now I welcome His Grace Ishwar Prabhu to speak on the glories of the holy name. Hare Krishna.
The time is gone. I just sing just little kitten and well, we're supposed to be at 7, but we are here at 8. Big traffic on the way. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Sri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. He Nata Narayana. Sri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. Sri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari He Nata Narayana Vasudeva. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namah. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharino Nidisesa Sunyabadi Paschate Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitago Haribo, 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 Nitago Haribo. Nitaigo Haribo, 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 Nitago Haribo, Nitago. Jayam Vishnupa Paramahansa Paribrajacharya Sutra Sata Sishmad. His divine grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupa Paramahansa Paribrajacharya Sutra Sata Sishmad. His divine grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौ भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर धाम की द्वारका धाम की जगन्नाथ धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की तुलसी देव की भक्ति देव की श्री निताय गुरुचंद की श्री कृष्ण बलराम की श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गोपी मनंदी. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Jai Sri Prabhupada. Gurave Gurachandaya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Agyana Trimenda Sagana Gana Salakaya Chaksusumilitaye Natasma Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishta Stapita Yena Bhutayil Sayarupa Kadamayam Vadati Sapadantikan Vandeham Sri Guru Sita Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnava Mitascha Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatha Vichatan Sajivam Sadvaitan Savadutan Parijana Saitan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Parasahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vichanscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radha Brindavaneshwari Vesabhanusuti Devi Panamami Hari Priye Krishna Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Vasudeva Sutan Devan Kasachanuramadana Devaki Paramananda Krishna Vande Jagaguru Vanchaka Patarubhyascha Kipasundribae Vachan Patitanam Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratusse Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ananda Lila Maya Vigrayo Hemadi Jivya Sundarayo Tasma Maha Premarasa Pradayo Chaitanya Chandrayo Namo Namastute.
யாருக்காவது தமிழ் மொழிபெயர்ப்பு வேணும்னா இங்க பிரசாந்த் பிரபு தமிழ்ல மொழிபெயர்ப்பு கொடுப்பாரு. ஹிந்தில ஏற்கனவே ரிதேஷ் பிரபு பண்றாரு.
हरे कृष्णा. हिंदी में अनुवाद किसी को चाहिए तो यहाँ पे आ जाइए प्रभु जी के लिए. और தமிழ் மொழிபெயர்ப்பு வேணும் இங்க பிரசாந்த் பிரபு இங்க கொடுக்குறாரு. இங்க வந்துக்கும். மாதாஜி சைடுல யாருக்காவது வேணுமா தமிழ்ல மொழிபெயர்ப்பு? பிரபு இங்கிலீஷ்ல தான் பேச போறாரு. தமிழ்ல மொழிபெயர்ப்பு.
Okay. So you will, okay, I can just speak straight. Translation will be at the back. Okay, that's good. Hare Krishna. So I am very happy to be here this evening at ISKCON North Chennai Yatra. I'm actually coming here for the first time. Usually, when we come to ISKCON Chennai, we go to the big temple. So I welcome everyone. And of course, I'm happy to be in front of all of you. So ISKCON is a wonderful organization which Srila Prabhupada started 60 years ago. It's exactly 60 years. ISKCON was established in July 1966. It started as a small storefront, and the name of that storefront was called Matchless Gift. Actually, the sign before this storefront was rented, the sign was already there. So when they saw this Matchless Gift, so they immediately went and said, okay, let us rent this place. It was just a small place. It wasn't too big. There's an upstairs. So there's about 2 rooms on the ground floor, and then upstairs there's 1 room, which was Srila Prabhupada's room. So, and of course, from there, then that was in New York City. Initially, Prabhupada started to preach in India. By that time, nobody will listen. Indian society, they were not interested. So, and then Prabhupada figured out that because everyone here in India, they were looking towards the West. So Prabhupada decided to go to the West, and the place is America, United States of America. And the best city, the biggest cities in this world, which is considered to be the capital of Maya Devi in this material world, in this earth, and that is New York City. When you go to New York City, you will be amazed. So when Prabhupada arrived in New York City, Prabhupada was 70, he was just about 70 years old when he arrived there. And then Prabhupada composed a prayer to Krishna. In that prayer, he said, "My dear Krishna, I don't know why you have brought me to this place." So Prabhupada was not enamored by the glitchy, by the fancy nature of the New York City, the most materialistic city in the world. Prabhupada was not enamored by it. He was simply amazed by the extent of Rajagun, Tamagun, how people are so much in the mode of passion and ignorance, trying to enjoy material energy. But trying to enjoy material energy, it's not really possible. But Maya Devi will cloud your intelligence, put you in illusion, thinking that you can enjoy. But the fact is, there's no enjoyment in the material world. No enjoyment. But we are thinking that, yes, I can enjoy, I can enjoy. So Maya Devi, she puts you on her lap and say, oh, my dear living entity, trying to enjoy yourself. She puts you on her lap, and then on her lap is filled with spikes. That is in the form of tapatraya. Tapatraya means the threefold miseries of material nature, which means adiabhatic, the miseries given by other living entity, adhyatmic, the miseries given by your own mind, and adidaivic, the miseries given by nature. So these threefold miseries are always tormenting the living entities. But even though the living entity is suffering so much, they're still thinking that, oh, I can enjoy, I can make it, I can. So in this way, they will keep hoping upon hoping, thinking that, yes, this world is a suffering, it's bad, it's miserable, but I can make it better. So that's the first premise that Maya Devi always gives the living entities. So Srila Prabhupada was praying that, Krishna, my dear Krishna, I don't know why you have brought me to this terrible place, why everyone's simply mad after sense gratification. But I know you have a business, and that's why you have brought me here. So therefore, my dear Krishna, make me your instrument and make me dance according to your tune. Make me dance. So that was the prayer of the pure devotees. Because the pure devotees sees the world filled with suffering. The world is filled with suffering, but his heart bleeds when he sees the suffering nature of the living entities. He becomes sad. So therefore, he wants to give relief to the suffering living entities by giving Krishna consciousness. Because it's only by Krishna consciousness that everyone can be happy. Don't think that you can be happy by any form of material arrangement. You cannot. So the great sages, they say, Ashatoma Jyoti Gamaya. Our great grand spiritual master, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he composed the song. He said, Jiv Jago, Jiv Jago, Jiv Jago, Gora Chanda Bole, Kotani Indaja Homaya Pisachira Dule. That, my dear Jiva, wake up, wake up, wake up. How long you going to remain sleeping on the lap of Maya? Jiv Jago, wake up. So therefore, ISKCON started, Prabhupada started, from a small storefront 60 years ago, and then from there, from New York, then devotee went to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco, from there, we started, then they started from there. Now, in 1966, when Prabhupada was in New York City, so he wrote to India, he wrote a letter to his God brothers in India. He said, I am here in New York City, and we have established Krishna consciousness. And we have established Krishna consciousness. We have so many devotees. We have so many temples. Everything's going on nicely. But Prabhupada wrote this letter. It was only just one small front. But Prabhupada is saying, you see that, oh, there's already many temples, we're having a theater, so many wonderful things going on, even though it was just a small storefront. You know. Because Papa, his vision was that it's just a matter of time before the whole world will be filled with Krishna consciousness. So now, of course, within a short period of time, Krishna consciousness has spread all over the world. Every continent, Krishna consciousness is there. Every continent. Europe, in Africa, South America, Far East Asia, everywhere. Krishna consciousness is there. No, you can go anywhere today, you can go to any country, you will see Krishna consciousness being proud. It doesn't matter where you go, you will see Krishna consciousness. I remember one time I was traveling I was in Africa, I was traveling. So as we were traveling, I was in one devotee was driving the car. And as we were going on the road, so we were stopped by the army blockade. Normally they will block the road with the machine guns. They trying to find out, who is passing by and what you are doing. So we were stopped by the soldiers with their machine guns. So they came to our car, and when they look inside, so I just tell, Hare Krishna. And when I say Hare Krishna, so the soldier also replied back, say, oh, Hare Krishna. And they say, okay, you can go. Because Krishna consciousness is a big magnet. The whole world gets affected by it. It's a big magnet. You see. So today, even though you told me you want to hear the glories of the holy name, but I prepare myself to say something different. Okay. So today there's one verse from the Bhagavad Gita, very famous verse, which Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. So Lord Krishna says, Apiche Sudaracharo Bhajante Man Ananyabak Sadhu Eva Samantabhya Samyak Vyavasito Ishaha. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 30. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. This is a very, very important text. I will just read some paragraph of Srila Prabhupada's purport on this text. So Srila Prabhupada said, the word Sudarachara used in this verse is very significant, and we should understand it properly. Sudarachara. When a living entity is conditioned, he has two kinds of activities. One is conditional, and the other is constitutional. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of society and state, certainly there are different activities, even for the devotees. In connection with the conditional life, and such activities are called conditional. Besides this, the living entity who is fully conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or the devotional service of the Lord has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in his constitutional position, and they are technically called devotional service. Now, in the conditioned state, sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relation to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these activities become opposed to one another. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically. But such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, the Lord, being situated within his heart, beautifies him and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes become ensnared. But Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always a success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the ideal path. For, as is explained in the next verse, such occasional fall down will be stopped in due course as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. So the purport goes on, deliberating on this verse. And this is very, very important in the life of devotees. Because as devotees, as let's say sadhaka means practitioners. As practitioners, it's not that one has attained perfection. There's a difference being on the sadhaka stage and then being on the perfected stage, which is called the time of attainment, or Vastu Siddhi or Swarup Siddhi, time of perfection. So there's the two different things there, the sadhaka. And because we all have different samskaras, there are activities which we have performed in our previous life, by which the effect of it is still being felt in this life, even though we have taken to the process of devotional service. So even though we have taken to the process of devotional service, performing sadhana and all that, but the effect of previous activities, it's there. And sometimes those effects sometimes become manifest within the body of a practicing devotee. So sometimes, like as the Lord said, even sometimes, because of the lingering effect of the previous activities, there can be fall down. Like one can be susceptible to sense gratification, falling into the entanglement of Maya. But the Lord is saying here, even though if we notice a devotees who have apparently fall down from the process, the Lord said, do not criticize such a person. It's a happy case to the child, you bajantima on your back, that this instruction is not to criticize a devotee who has fallen down. Why? Because the fall down is a temporary thing. It's not permanent. The fall down of a devotee is temporary because sometimes our tendency, because we ourselves were practitioner and we also neophyte. So when we see a devotee falling down, our tendency is to criticize. Our tendency is to point finger. Oh, just see, he has fallen down. He cannot control his senses. And then we start criticizing such devotees. But the Lord said, no, don't do that. There was one time, it's a story, during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, devotees, they have gone to a place to open a center. So they've gone to a place to open a center, and the main person who was responsible for opening that center, for some reason, he fell down by being attracted to a woman. So he fell down, he had a bad association, and then even though he was a brahmachari, so he was associating with a woman. So when all the fellow devotees, when they saw this, so everyone, they begin to criticize him, that look at this devotee, he cannot control his senses and all that. So they begin to criticize him. And as a result of this criticism, this devotee left the temple. So he left the temple. In the meanwhile, they had invited Guru Maharaj Bhaktisiddhanta to come to inaugurate this temple. So then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta came. And when he came, he noticed that this devotee, particular devotee, is not in the temple. So he asked the devotees that, where is this devotee? Where is he? Why am I not seeing him? And then they narrated to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta that this is what he has done. He has done this, he has done that. So because of that, he left the temple because of that. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta heard this, he was not happy. He was not happy that because of the criticism of the devotees, this devotee left the temple. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, well, because he has left the temple, so I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to stay. I'll go back to Calcutta. I'm not going to stay. He said, because to make a devotee, it takes so much effort making a devotee. He said that one had to spend several gallons of blood just to make one person a devotee of Krishna. And then you have, because of some fault, you've criticized and you've made him to leave. So this is not good. So I'm not going to stay. I will go. So devotees, then they had to beg the Guru Maharaj, and then they went out looking for this devotee. So they went to look for these devotees, and then they find him, and then they brought him back to the temple, in front of Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta. So when they brought him in front of the Guru Maharaj and the Guru Bhaktisiddhanta, then this devotee was crying. He said, my dear Guru Maharaj, I know what I've done is horrible. Please forgive me, what I've done is horrible. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, you're always in my thoughts. How can I abandon you? I can't abandon you. one of the statements of Lord Ramachandra is that he said, if one surrender unto me, if one surrenders unto me, and the person make a declaration that, my dear Lord, I am yours. So the Lord said that from that moment, that point on, I will always take care of that person. I will always consider that person to be mine. So the Lord, he never forsake his devotees. Just like in the next verse that the Lord said, he said, Kipram Babati Dhammatma Sachon Shanti Nigatati Konteya Pati Janahi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that quickly such a person becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. Now, Krishna is telling Arjuna that you make a declaration. You, my dear Arjuna, declare to everyone that my devotee will never perish. Name Bhakta Pranasyati. The Krishna's devotee will never perish. Now, Krishna will have make his own declaration, but he told Arjuna that you should tell people, make a promise to people that Krishna's devotee will never perish. Why? Because sometimes, if Krishna make promise himself, sometimes he may break the promise. If he make promise, he may break it. Just like, for example, before the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna says that I will not take weapon. I will not fight. Krishna told everyone, said, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to take weapon. I will simply be Arjuna's charioteer. I'm not going to take weapon myself. But during the fighting, when Bhishmadev was fighting with Arjuna, and Arjuna's life was put in danger, because Bhishmadev, he said, today I will kill Arjuna, or Krishna will have to break his promise that he's not going to carry a weapon. Because Bhishmadev, he know that Krishna made this promise that he's not going to fight. But it's either he fight or I will kill Arjuna. So the situation came, fighting was going on, and they come to the point that Bhishmadev was about to kill Arjuna. After all, who can defeat Bhishmadev? The greatest fighter in the world. So when Krishna saw that Arjuna's life was in danger, so Krishna got down from the chariot and he took up the wheel and he was rushing to crush Bhishmadev. He was rushing to crush Bhishmadev, and when Bhishmadev saw Krishna coming, he was very happy. He said, now my desire is fulfilled. I've seen that Krishna broke his own promise to protect his devotee. Because Krishna will always protect his devotees. So now I'm very, very happy now. And he said, oh, my dear Lord, now you can come and kill me. You can come and kill me. You know. But of course, because Bhishmadev is Krishna's devotee, so Krishna retreated from fighting Bhishmadev. So, but the Lord said, but when devotee made this promise to Krishna, to everyone, that Krishna will always protect his devotees. So therefore, the Lord will always abide by that, because the Lord will protect the promise of his devotees. If a devotee make a declaration, Krishna will protect that. So when I was like Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he said, I'm going to make Krishna devotees. Even though in the West, everyone is opposed to God, everyone is like mostly, atheist and all that. Everyone is so much absorbed in sense gratification. But when Prabhupada said, I'm going to make Krishna devotee of Krishna, so Krishna, he allowed that. So yes, my devotee He wants to make devotee, my devotee. So this is going to happen. So the result today is that we have devotees of Krishna from all over the world. All over the world, people, we have hundreds and thousands of devotees from all over the world. Just like the Jagannath Theatre, this week that's going on. In the West, we have theatres in many, many countries. In every country in the West, outside of India, we have theatres going on. That is going on. You know. So which means the glory of Krishna, the glory of Lord Jagannath is being sung all over the world. So the important thing here is that as we are practicing bhakti, we should be focused only upon ourselves. We should not be seeing what others are doing. Whatever problem others are doing, it's not our business. Our business is merely to protect others. It's merely to be a well-wisher of others. For example, we are practitioners. If you see a particular devotee having some trouble, some controversies, then we should be the well-wisher. We should not be critic. A critic is never look upon kindly. So this is very, very important text in the Gita. So Krishna says, Apitye Sudra Chara Bhajanti Mam Ananjaba. A person who is my devotees, but even though he commits the most abominable, Sudra Chara, the most abominable sin, then Krishna says he is to be considered saintly. Is to be considered saintly. Because devotees of Krishna, they are always, they are special. Krishna devotees are special. So this is what the Lord is saying here. So let us reflect on this verse. That we should not be criticizing each other. We should simply be encouraging each other in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Thank you very much. And of course, a question may be asked that, okay, if you say that don't criticize other devotees if they are doing bad, does that mean that we just allow anybody to do all kind of nonsense that they want? The point is that unless you're a guru, an authority of a particular person, then you have no right to criticize someone or to correct someone. You have no right. Unless you're a guru or the person or the authority of the person. So which means we should simply be minding our own advancement in Krishna consciousness. So Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. If anybody has any question, you can please ask. Somebody want to ask something?
யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்டுக்கலாம், ஒரே ஒரு கேள்வி. One question, if any.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. It is said that abominable activity one can do, it's not encouraged, but it is said that even if it happens, is it also apply for doing something wrong for the devotees or non-devotees? How to understand? Anything one can do, or what does that abominable means?
Abominable simply means sinful activity, like for example, a devotee. Now, Krishna said here, Bhajanti Mam, a devotee who's engaged in my devotional service. If accidentally commits sinful activities, accidentally, then we should not criticize that. This is what Krishna is saying. So which means we should not look at the fault of a devotee who is properly engaged in devotional service. So No, of course, we know that the materialist people, they engage in all kinds of sinful activities. So we preach to them. We preach to them so they can stop their sinful activities, so they can take up to Krishna consciousness. But in this case, for example, let's say you're brahmachari or any kind of ashram, and then let's say you fall into illicit sex or take intoxication, you become, let's say the mind become bewildered sometimes. You become bewildered, you say, oh, let me try this, let me test this, because of the bewilderment of the mind. Of course, this is explained because sometimes, because of the weakness of heart, because of the weakness, there's a hridaya de la bien, when the heart is very weak, because of the weakness of the heart, the tendency is to sometimes fall into committing sinful activities, such as breaking the principles, and things like that. But again, it mentioned here that yes, if we see such devotees, rather than criticizing such devotees, we should simply see how we can help their devotees. How we can help, and then of course the best help is to make sure that people are fully engaged in Nam Sankirtan. There's an ongoing hearing, chanting properly, then all those things that they can help a person from stopping the sinful activities. So basically, we should not be Yamaraj. Yamaraj is the one that judges other. So we should not be Yamaraj. You understand me? We should be, like Vishnu Dutta. You know the Vishnu Duttas and the Yamadutas? Yamadutas came to take Ajamil. The Vishnu Dutta said, no, you cannot take him because this person has chanted Narayan name. So you cannot take him. So we should be like that. We should be like Vishnu Dutta, not like Yamadutta. And Yamaraj is specifically instructed his messengers. He said, do not approach those who are chanting Krishna, who are chanting the holy name of the Lord. Don't approach them. Even Yamaraj, he told his messengers that one. So again, the glory of devotee is so much, it's very high. And of course, as we're becoming more and more advanced, the more we will realize all this point, that criticizing the others because of their wrongdoing is not always to our benefit.
Hare Krishna. ஸோ பிரபு ஒரு அருமையான வேர்ஸ் எடுத்து நமக்கு விளக்கம் கொடுத்தாங்க. ஸோ நம்முடைய வழக்க பிரகாரம் இஸ் கிரேஸ் ஈஸ்வர் பிரபுக்கு we will express our gratitude by chanting loudly Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
So just before we end, in the past 30 years, my main service in ISKCON is to make available the books of the Acharya, which Srila Prabhupada did not translate. So we have an organization called Touchstone Media, by which we engage in the translation work, publishing work of the works of the previous Acharyas into the English language. Because that's what Srila Prabhupada wanted, that this teaching of the Acharyas should be made available in the English language. And I did get instruction myself from Prabhupada in the dream that I should make this book available, publish them into the English language. So we just released a new book just beginning of this year, and this book is Sri Ramcharitamanas. This is by Goswami Tulsidas. This is the the activities, pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. It's called Ramcharitamanas. It's English language, not Tamil or Telugu, just English. Original language was in Abadi, which is the whole Hindi, and then we translated to English, modern English. And the originally Tulsidas, it was actually an incarnation of Valmiki Muni himself, because Valmiki Muni is the Adikavi who wrote the original Ramayana, but he wrote them in Sanskrit. So which means you can only know Ramayana unless you can only read Ramayana if you know Sanskrit. So in Kali Yuga, Valmiki Muni again came in Kali Yuga. He came as Tulsidas, and he wrote Ramcharitamanas in the local language, which everyone can understand. And Ramcharitamanas is basically a conversation between Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati Devi. So Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi, Lord Shiva is recounting Ram Lila to his wife Parvati Devi, and that's why this book is called Ramcharita. Manasa means the mind of Lord Shiva. Okay. So of course I don't have only have one copy here, because since I came here, all the copies I brought with me, they've all been sold. They've all been taken. But you can get a copy, you can request, you can order a copy, and then we will send it to you from Vrindavan. And of course the temple here, you can order some, you can supply your temple here. So if anybody wants, you can order from the devotees here. You can take your name and number, you can order a copy, and then we can send to your address. You will relish Ramcharitamanas. Srila Prabhupada actually loved the book. Srila Prabhupada used to say that in all of North India, the most important scripture is Ramcharitamanas. And Srila Prabhupada was very, very fond of quoting Tulsidas. And also in one lecture he gave in 1968 in Montreal, Canada, he gave a lecture on Ramcharitamanas in one of the invocatory verse of the one of the kandas. I think this is not Ayodhya Kanda. And in the sixth chapter, Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture on the introductory verse of Ramcharitamanas. Okay. So, if anybody wants, you can. This devotee here, they can take your name. Hare Krishna.
யாருக்காவது இது வேணும் அப்படின்னாக்கா நீங்கள் ஜெகதீஸ்வர் பிரபுட்ட பேர் கொடுக்கலாம்.
The book is 1,200 rupees. 1,200. Yeah.
இது 1,200 ரூபாய். பிருந்தாவனத்துலேருந்து அனுப்பிச்சி விட்ருவாங்க. நீங்கள் இப்போ பேர் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க அனுப்பிச்சி விட்ருவாங்க.
And then we send it to you by courier. They will get it by courier.
courierல அனுப்பிச்சிடுவாங்க. ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா.
So, Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.